Hello and welcome to 11.2 Personal Loans and Simple Interest. Okay, so simple interest is interest that is principal times rate times time, excuse me. So this is not compound interest, which we'll talk about further on in the course. It's simple interest. So principal times rate times time. Tom wants to borrow $1,200 to purchase a Howell fuel injection kit for his Jeep. He obtains a 9-month loan from his credit union with an annual simple interest rate of 6%. Calculate the simple interest. Well, the simple interest is going to be that $1,200, the principal, times the rate is what percent? 6%, 0.06 times time. It's an annual rate. He's only using 9 months, so 9 over 12. And that makes it a $54 in interest, which hopefully he'll save that much money in fuel. Determine the amount he'll pay the credit union at the end of the 12 months. Well, he'll pay them the $1,200 back plus $54, not $5,400, to be $1,254 or $1,254. Next question. Maribel lends her friend $450 to pay his taxes. He repaid the original loan in 6 months of $450 plus $30 in interest. What annual rate of interest did she receive? So interest equals principal times rate times time. So $30 is $450 times the rate times the time is 6 months. So that's 6/12, 6 out of 12 months. 30 equals 450 times R times 1/2. So 30 equals 225. 450 times 1/2, 225 times R. So R equals 30 divided by 225, which is approximately, or actually, I think we can say exactly. No, let's say approximately. 0.1333, so the rate is 13.33%. Okay, next one. Phil needs money. He took an auto title loan at AAAA Title Loans and was lent $2,000. Now this is a pretty, I based this story off of an encounter I had with an acquaintance. After 1 month, he wants to pay off his debt. AAAA Title Loans tells him the balance is $2,400. What is the annual rate? So this is after 1 month, it went from $2,000 to $2,400. He borrowed $2,000, has to pay back $2,400. So $2,400 minus $2,000 is $400. That is the interest. Interest is principal times rate times time, so $400 is equal to 2,000 times the rate is R times the time is 1 out of 12 months. So I'll multiply both sides by 12. 4,800 equals 2,000 times R, divided by 2,000, 2.4 equals R. Now that's not in percent form, that is the decimal form. So the rate is 2.4 times 100, or 240%. That's a high rate. When you borrow money from the title loan places, you're going to pay a high rate. Discount note. That's the interest paid at the time the borrower receives a loan. So when you pay the interest ahead of time. So when you get your money, you don't get all the money, you get the money minus the interest. And you got to pay back the whole amount. Bank discount, the interest charged is charged in advance. Sally borrowed $800 on a 12% discount note for 3 months. Find the interest she must pay to the bank on the date she receives a loan, the net amount of money she receives from the bank, and the actual rate of interest. So the first part, the interest is going to be $800 times 0.12 is the rate times 3 out of 12 months, and that is $24. So how much does she receive? Well, she borrows $800 minus the 24 in interest. She gets to keep, not keep, but she gets to spend $776. So what's the true rate going to be? Because really, if you're talking about the interest on the $776 is $24, that's more than 12%. So for C, 24, I'm doing interest equals principal times rate times time. So 24 equals 776 times the rate times the time is 3 months. So 24 equals 776 times R times 1/4. Multiply both sides by 4. That's going to be what? 96 equals 776 times R divided by 776. R would be 0.1237%. No, 1.1237, which is really 12.37%. So it's advertised as 12%, but 12% of 800 once it's taken away, it's not like it's 12% of 800 is 24, so she pays back 824. That's taken away from this amount, and so she's paying back all the 800. She's really paying a 12.37% rate. Okay, let's go on to the United States rule. If a partial payment is made on a loan, the interest is computed on the principal from the first day of the loan until the date of the partial payment. The partial payment is used to pay the interest first, and then the rest goes towards the principal. The next time a partial payment is made, instead of being the entire amount, you're making payments, interest is calculated on the unpaid principal from the date of the previous payment to today, or the day you're making the payment. The payment first goes to pay interest again, and then the rest goes to the principal. The balance due on the date of maturity is the interest since the last payment plus the unpaid balance. So the way it works is you pay interest from the last payment to the time you're making the payment. You pay interest on that. That comes out of the payment first. The rest of the money goes towards your balance. Next time you make a payment, from that previous payment to the current time, and so on. Banker's rule. Banker's rule sounds kind of crazy, but a year is 360 days. It's easier for calculations and helps them out. Any fraction part of a year is the exact number of days of a loan. So if you're doing like 87 days, an annual rate, 87 over 360. Table 11.1 in the book has days in each month. Page, I don't know if it's page 662 anymore. But what I want to say is I have on here, and I'll show you in a second, on my website, I have a Julian calendar that has all the days for a leap year and for a non-leap year. The book one only has it for non-leap years, and you have to add the 1 in. And so then you have the rule, if it's after February 28th, you got to add a 1 to every day. So let me show you what that looks like. And we'll do example 5. Well, I'll start example 5 and we'll go there. So find the due date on a loan made on April 15th for 175 days. So April 15th. So if you're on my college website, it looks like this, Math 120, and here it says Julian calendar, real small, and there it is. So the way we're going to look at this, April 15th. April 15th is day 105. Add 175 to that. You're going to end up with 0. day 280. So let's look up day 280. There it is. It happens to occur October 7th. So October 7th, it's due. The next one says, find the number of days from April 18th to August 3rd. Okay, August 3rd. August 3rd is day 215. April 18th, I'm not going to be able to fit it here. Let me scroll down a little bit. So this was January, February, March, April. 18th is day 108. So 215, day 215 in the year minus day 108 is, I don't need to do that, 107 days. So that's the answer to part B. Let's go back to the lesson. Example 6, determine the simple interest that will be paid on a $500 loan at an interest rate of 6% for the period of May 5th to July 5th using the banker's rule. Now, May 5th is day 125. July 5th is day 186. 186 minus 125 is 61 days. So the interest is going to be 500 times 0.06 times 61 out of 360. You get $5.08. Scroll down here to the last problem of this section. Example 7. The Sweet Tooth Restaurant borrowed $3,000 on a note dated May 15th with simple interest of 11%. The maturity date of the loan is September 1st. The restaurant made partial payments of $875 on June 15th of $940 and August 1st. $875 June 15th and $940 on August 1st. You got those in here. Find the amount due on the maturity date of the loan. I looked it up here. May 15th is day 135. June 15th is day 166. That's 31 days. August 1st is day 213. That's 47 days from the previous payment. And September 1st is day 244, 31 days from the previous payment. So the first thing we want to do, the payment is $875. What's the interest part we'll take off first, then subtract the rest from the balance. So we'll first do the May 15th to June 15th. The interest is going to be $3,000. That's the total balance. Times 0.11, it's 11% interest. Times 31 out of 360. And we get $28.42. So from the $875, we subtract $28.42, and we have $846.58 left. So from the $3,000, we subtract what's left of the principal. That was interest. This is what's left. It goes to the principal, $846.58, and we have $2153.42. So the balance after making this payment is $2153.42 because $28.42 was paid in interest. Now another partial payment's made on August 1st. So we're looking from June 15th to August 1st. The interest is going to be $2153.42, the current balance, times the 0.11, times how many days? 47 days. 47 over 360. That gives us an interest amount of $30.93. So from the payment of $940, we subtract $30.93. We get $909.07. So from the balance of $2153.42, we subtract $909.07. We have $1,244.35. And then finally we have from August 1st to September 1st, the interest is going to be $1244.35 times 0.11. And the number of days there, 31 days out of 360. Interest is now $11.79. Nice to see the interest going down. But now instead of subtracting it, we don't know what the final payment's going to be. We know the final balance should be 0. What's that last payment? It has to be this amount plus any interest that's accrued. So $1244.35 plus 11.79 is $1256.14. So $1,256.14. That's the final payment. Well, that'll do it for this section. So send me your questions. I'll see you guys when we meet as a class online. Thanks.